don't think I've ever been to a film festival, so this is my first time, so I feel it's just really cool to, meet so many people who love film as much as I do, so it's very cool. The experience of success or whatever that is, or the experience of becoming more known perhaps was during the pandemic. It was very much at the same time. So I think disconnecting the strangeness of that time and the strangeness of what it feels like now, maybe to know that more people have seen my work it's very difficult to disconnect those two things. I feel very lucky, I guess, that I'm able to be here and be here in person too, because a couple of years ago it was all over Zoom, and be able to actually experience people seeing the film and talking about it, and also being able to celebrate it with the people I made it with too is really nice, because that's the best thing you gain from a job, is the people you meet. So yeah, I just feel very lucky, really. I love actors like Tilda Swinton. I love actors who are really different character to character, and also don't often choose the kind of lead role, but more the interesting supporting character or the interesting sort of guest role, which I think is very fun, where you're able to really transform and be different film to film and TV to TV, A lot of the time in TV and film, you're sort of acting into a vacuum sometimes, because having to imagine a lot more of it, because you might be doing this really emotional performance, but because of the eye line, you're actually acting to a mark on a wall. And so you're trying to sort of, a lot of it is done for you in post with the music and the camera. And so it's much more of I think, well, they're both collaborative in different ways, but it's really very much the performance is a small part of the ultimate machine, which I really enjoy that aspect of it. What's really fun about being an actor, in that way, is that you're able to just be directed and enjoy sort of being in somebody's vision. And I really loved collaborating with Livvy, because she had such a clear idea of the character and what she wanted to bring to the story, and she has a real sort of gentle quality, which I felt was really a part of Kaya that I wanted to find. And I also found it very inspiring, because obviously most of our heads of department, Livvy included, were women, and this is a story about kind of female empowerment. So to have all of the women behind the camera also be in leadership roles was really exciting. It's fun to see how the character changes with the different people that come into her life. And I think what I would say the difference between her relationship with Tate and Chase is kind of, with Tate there's a real cerebral connection. It's very much like they love each other's mind. They love the fact that they are both so passionate about the marsh. And then with Chase, it's almost a kind of, as she's getting older too, because she's older in that part of the story, it's more of a carnal kind of physical attraction that she can't really understand, and through her observations of nature really is able to kind of differentiate the two different relationships. So I found that very interesting to play with. But I think there was a lot about the book that I really connected with. I think I found the way that the character understands the world she lives in through her observations of nature very, very interesting. And then when I read the script, I love how seamlessly our writer managed to weave in all the different themes, because there's a lot in the story. It's a love story, it's a murder mystery, but it's also a survival story, and there's a lot to get in there, and I really was impressed by how much they managed to squeeze into the film. Well, I feel like in the film that the marsh is almost a character in itself, and we were very lucky that we were filming actually on location. We weren't in a sort of soundstage trying to imagine it with a green screen. We were actually there, and you could feel the humidity, and you could hear the cicadas, and there was alligators everywhere. Like, it was very hard to not immerse yourself in it, because it was, we were properly there in that quite hostile environment, which was incredible as an actor. And I'm obviously from London, so I'd never experienced an environment like it. So to actually be there was really important, and I felt very lucky that we got to film there, because it meant that it wasn't so hard to sort of get into the world and the character. We all feel like an outsider at different times in our life, definitely. And I think it's also very indicative of your 20s, I would say, of like trying to work out who you are, and your sense of self is ever shifting, and the people that you are friends with, you start to grow apart from, or you grow up so much during that time. So I definitely find those characters interesting, but I kind of think every character I've played has that feeling, really, because I think it's a very human one to sometimes not feel like we belong in different environments and settings and with different people.